All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Life, liberty, and the
If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear.
Make America great again.
The Big Mig.
All right, well, good morning and welcome back to the Big Mig Show. I'm your host, Lance Migliaccio. George Ballantine, slicked and ready to go. Rocking and rolling is how we do it. Of course, this is the tip of the spear. And if liberty means anything at all, well, you know, we're going to tell you the truth. Probably talk a little shit along the way and maybe, of course, expose the real evidence of what's going on here in the United States. Great interviews, kind of a Rogan-style format. And we love the fact that you guys have been helping us grow. We're one of the fastest growing shows on Rumble, and we appreciate that. So take the short form, take the long form, take the live link during the show, spread it far and wide. Don't forget to hit that like, that follow button. If you can do the paid subscription, it's $5 a month. It's a great way to say thank you to us if you love the show. If you're here for the first time, man, don't be a puss. Get in that chat. Jump in there, talk to us, let us know what you're thinking. We want to ask you guys because we always want your input to kind of craft the show the way you'd like to see things or maybe information you'd like to have. So it's important. If you're new to the show, man, get in here. Let's give you a shout out. You know, maybe introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from if you want to. And, let's participate here, of course. And don't forget to follow us on all social media on X, Gab, and Getter. On X, you're going to find G Ballantine. They still won't give him the extra letter. They're trying to cut him short. Every other platform gives it to him. There he's G Ballantine. Everywhere else, George Ballantine. You can follow Lance Migliaccio on the Big Mig Show. And you can find us on Rumble, YouTube, and Locals. We're back on YouTube. They didn't give us back our original count of 30,000 followers. We're having to build from scratch, so whatever you can do to help us grow. And, of course, don't forget to follow us on all podcast platforms. George.
Lance.
What's up, homie?
What's going on?
SOS, baby. Back in the saddle, pulling out the old the silver bar, the old prepper.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
You know, it's funny. You weren't there for that part of the conversation.
No, what's this?
When I was busting his chops about the gold prepper bar, he's like, "Oh yeah, I sent you another silver one." I said, "I told you I have one." Well, I sent you another one anyway. Felt bad. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So maybe we could figure something out with doing a giveaway or something. Or you'd have to take some time and planning.
Yeah.
Would you all like me to give away a silver prepper bar? I want to see in the chat what people say.
Yeah, does everybody like the silver? Don't forget it's 62.2 grams. You're talking about over 2 ounces. It's a pretty good giveaway if you guys are interested. Maybe we can work on getting a bunch of new followers or something, but we'll get everybody in. I don't want to just do it for the new followers. Of course, the loyal people deserve a giveaway too, in my opinion. Everybody deserves something.
Whoa.
All right. Let's give a shout out to our sponsor. If you'd like to sponsor the Big Mig Show, you can hit us at info@thebigmig.com. Of course, as always, we appreciate your guys' loyalty. We appreciate your support. And of course, George and I are not only crypto guys, we're gold and silver bugs. We like to stack it just like the rest of you guys. But of course, we have some of these on hand. Always the 62.2 gram prepper bar, perforated and very easily broken down in your choice of 3 different denominations. Of course, what for? It's a multitude of needs. Let's face it, if your US dollar is tanked, your credit cards aren't working, you're going to need a solution. And I don't care whether this is for diversification, asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil. In the case of the prepper bar, it's a very unique utility for barter trade. It's a perfect gift. There's nobody that doesn't like prepper bars in gold or silver because let's face it, gold and silver is way up. It's a great gift. It's a great buy and hold. It's a great way to say, I love you and I want to protect you. And of course, these are exclusively mined and minted in the great US of A. They're always selling out fast. They've got them in stock, but I did hear they're low on gold right now. So gold and silver prepper bars going to fit neatly in your wallet, gun safe, safety deposit box, underwear drawer. Hopefully the FBI won't come and go through your underwear drawer like they did Melania Trump. It should be safe in there unless the FBI raids your house. But of course, you can head over to GenesisGoldGroup.com. That's right, GenesisGoldGroup.com. Let them know that the Big Mig Show sent you. They also do fantastic work with, precious metals in your IRA, 401k, and just regular investment. If you've got a big block and you want to buy some precious metals, A lot of people are predicting a lot of room in silver. Not that gold's not good too, but silver, people are saying there's going to be a major global shortage. So you can also call them at 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154, GenesisGoldGroup.com.
I'm no singing. I'm doing something.
Well, George is busy. Can't have him sing every day. It's a treat when he does. All right.
Maybe tomorrow, folks. Maybe tomorrow.
I have to say this did put a little smile on my face. We talked
What?
about, we talk about.
Giant smile? Where? Let
I
me
did
see.
smile just for a moment. And nobody saw it. I was by myself, so it was good that nobody saw me smile. Nobody saw me smile. So
And we don't believe it. I'm just saying.
Okay, I don't blame you. I wouldn't believe
Nobody
you.
in the chat believes you smiled either.
And
They think you're a miserable SOB.
Maybe it was a smirk. It might not have been a full smile. You guys might be calling me out correctly. I might have smirked. But I've been talking about it on the show. I said, cut off their services. Stop servicing the people that aren't following the laws of the United States. I said it about congressional ministers, I said it about many
How's
others.
this got to do with
What
that?
I like about what the Postmaster General did here is he's saying if they're not going to comply with the executive order, if they're not going to comply with the law, then we're not going to give them any ballots. And that's exactly how you have to operate. So these states that think they don't have to follow Donald Trump's executive orders, he basically told Congress that the post office will not deliver mail-in ballots in the 2026 midterms to states who refuse to comply with President Trump's election integrity executive order. Now, of course, you know he wants the voter rolls. He wants the data. And a lot of these blue states are going, yeah, we're not going to do it. Well, looks like they're going to get FAFO'd because right now, and I don't think this guy is going to reverse. I don't think he'd even listen to a judge right now because he feels like the executive order overrides the judiciary for the moment.
Well,
US Postmaster I don't know, George.
Hold up. You know the liberals are going to take this to court if they haven't already. And, it's, you know, we're going to go through this process. You know, the lower court liberal judges vote in favor, and then it has to go up and, you know, get denied, hopefully. But if there's a court order, you got to abide by the court, no?
Not really, because the court doesn't seem to want to follow the laws of these United States. I'm at the point where I think the judiciary, when they respond, wait, let me finish. I think the judiciary right now gets the big middle finger.
Where's the bag of dicks?
They aren't following.
Where's the bag of dicks?
You know what? The bag of dicks, Bella has ripped the bag up. I have to get a new bag of dicks. They do deserve it. But Bella
was hungry for D.
She decided. I don't know if she was hunting for D. She might have been. She might have been hunting for a little cat.
You're depriving that dog, man.
She shredded the bag, so I've got to get a new bag of dicks. But here's the point: bag of dicks or otherwise, the judiciary is violating the Constitution constantly. They're violating the laws of the United States. They're violating presidential executive orders. They're violating this. I'm at the point where I think, and I'll ask the audience, you guys tell me if you agree. I think it's time to tell the judiciary to fuck off. I think it's time to just give them the middle finger. When they come out with a ruling, say, no, I'm not going to do it. Because they never make the Democrats comply. When laws come through and the Democrats just ignore it or don't do it, when executive orders come through, that's basically a law until otherwise refuted by the judiciary, right? Executive orders carry a lot of form and a lot of power. My point is, why listen to them? Why listen to the judges? Listen, we're second-class citizens. You've got this demigod status for congressional members and members of the FBI, DEA, you name it, the Department of Homeland Security, you name it, all the agencies. There's no accountability. They violate the law, they violate people's rights, and they never go to jail. So why should we have to go along with the law? My thing is, I think it's Wild Wild West, mofos. I think it's time to go Wild Wild West. Why listen to any of the laws? Because they're not enforcing them on their own. They only enforce them on people like George Ballantine, Lance Migliaccio, and you in the audience. So as far as I'm concerned, if I'm Postmaster General and a judge comes out and rules against me, you know what I'm going to tell him? Hey, here, sit on this and spin. I'm not doing shit. And I'm not going to comply with what you just did because I think it's unlawful. So go F yourself. I think it's time to treat the judiciary disrespectfully. I don't think they deserve any respect. I mean, the Supreme Court seems to be okay. I don't think it's amazing. I'm tired of the bias. I'm tired of the installed puppets. And I'm tired of the no arrests, no accountability, and no firings. Enough's enough with this judiciary. They're ridiculous. It's a joke. Obama judges, all this appointed crap where they come out with these rulings that are just total crap, totally biased. And to me, they violated their judicial canons. They violated their judicial oaths. They violated the Constitution. At that point, are they lawful? I'll ask the audience, do you believe if they violate the judicial canons, which are the rules they're supposed to follow, if they violate the charter and the sanctity of the office, and if they violate the laws of the United States and the Constitution, and they don't equally apply the law and equally protect citizens, do you believe that we should listen to those people, or should they just be treated like non-citizens and fired and ignored? I'm going with plan B. Ignore, don't give them any respect, stop complying with anything they order, because listen, there's over 300 million of us. Let's just say there's 200 million. Let's say there's 150 that are like us. Imagine if all of us just said, hey, judiciary, fuck off. We're done with you. When you guys straighten yourself out, maybe we'll give you consideration again. Imagine how powerful it'd be. Imagine if you went to every judge, every federal district judge in X, and you took an hour to leave them the comments about what you really think about them. Imagine if millions of you did it. On this show, it could be thousands. That's what I'm saying. We can't allow this stuff anymore. They're not doing it. It's time for us to strike a blow. I love what the postmaster did here. George, give me your thoughts.
I was muted. Listen, it's about time that they're following directives and executive orders. I was kind of shocked that he actually did it, that he's doing it. But listen, he answers to the president, the executive branch, right? So that's the president. I want to see if states are going to comply, or how's this going to work? Because I'm going to take California for that state. They're going to have a hard time giving up their voter rolls. Are they, I can see these states doing it, like try to be sneaky and do it last minute. Well, there should be a deadline, and the Postmaster General should put a deadline out of when he needs to get this voter roll so they can mail out the ballots. Because look, it's going to be a big thing. I mean, curb the fraud. This is one way of doing it, but we're going to see. I mean, look, so much stuff is going on this week. I mean, yesterday Trump with the Senate. I don't even want to get to that part yet. I don't want to jump the gun on it because we'll ruin the moment. Let me play the clip, Lance.
Yeah.
Take some time, and I'll make this signature absolutely perfect, so it looks very good. So far, so good. Okay, so that's a big deal. Very proud of it. And I don't know how it can be challenged. You'll probably challenge it. You may find a rogue judge. You got a lot of rogue judges, very bad people, very bad judges. But that's the only way that can be changed, and hopefully we'll win an appeal if it is. But I don't see how anybody can challenge it. I don't see how they can challenge it.
Okay, so that statement right there, he doesn't see how anybody can challenge it. It doesn't matter. They're going to challenge it. And he said, all you got to do is find one liberal rogue judges. We went through liberal judges with their rulings 2 days ago, I think it was, Lance. And then there's more crazy judges coming out with ruling. And it's just a waste of taxpayer money, our time, everybody's time, because all these rulings just got to keep going up the chain to SCOTUS. And we're going to go over some SCOTUS rulings today, by the way, where SCOTUS is knocking down all these rogue judges. But like Lance always says, they have qualified immunity. These judges with all these rogue rulings that are getting overturned, they should be kicked off the bench, removed. Take away their judgeship because they don't deserve it. Truly don't. It's a freaking, I hate when they waste our time. There's nothing better to do. But yesterday, Lance, so Trump had I guess a luncheon with Senate yesterday, with some of the Senate leaders and stuff. And I heard there was a little back and forth going in there. Who was it? What's that senator? The one that Trump had they had somebody primary me and he lost. Is it Tillis? I don't know if it's Tillis. I forget his name. I think Tillis. He was actually like raised his voice at Trump. They were going back and forth in this meeting, but Trump told the Republicans straight up, yo, nuke the filibuster. Nuke it. Save America before the midterms. It's going to be too late. And, if I was Trump, I would have got right into his face and said, listen, you don't get this shit fucking done, you bet your ass and we're going to be primarying your ass and you're going to lose. So, there it is. Look at my run this year. Trump, I think only one primary. It was a governorship. I forget. I don't know. Was it Georgia the one or one of the freaking states that he didn't his endorsement didn't go through? But he just won like 10 more endorsements Tuesday. So what are we gonna do? Senator Tuberville from Alabama, he laid out the groundwork. Put your personalities aside. This ain't about personalities. And if you really truly are about this country, America first, about preserving our Constitution, you would get the Save America Act passed. Drop the filibuster. Democrats would do it. Why not do it? Got a clip on this one. Funny. You want to play the clip or you want to talk?
No, let's play the clip.
All right, let's
So
go.
I see John Thune, and right away, what do I think? Power slap.
Bafangu.
Run up on him and just give him a right across the face. I'd be like, that's for America. John Thune, that power slap I just gave you. That's what I'm thinking. Power slap. But go ahead.
I'd backhand him. I don't even slap him.
No, I want to give him one where I hit him with the palm here and maybe knock him out. I want to catch him right into the jaw and just wham. Yeah, it's for America.
So, okay.
America.
I'm going to behave because, let me not say nothing.
Has said that there aren't the votes to end the filibuster in the Senate and that there aren't the votes to pass the SAVE Act. So what's going to change with those two factors?
Well, he came there today to praise the people that have been on America's side from the Republican caucus in the Senate. He also came to point out the people that are fighting back against the American people, not against Trump. I mean, this is not President Trump that they're voting against. They're voting against the American people. And so he made it very simple. Okay, we've just got a few months left. We can pass a lot of things, but the only way we can do it is bust the filibuster. And you that are refusing to do that, you're worried about your election, or you're worried about personalities, you're worried about things that you shouldn't be worried about. Worry about the dang country. Worry about our country and vote for our country. Vote for freedom. Vote for democracy. Vote for a constitutional republic. Because if we don't, this will be the last time. We're behind in a lot of polls in the Senate in some of these states. And a lot of people aren't going to vote, as President Trump says, and he's hearing it everywhere.
So, are you saying that he moved people today, that he moved people who were against ending the filibuster into the yes category in there today? Yeah,
I don't know whether he moved him. We'll find out. But I'll tell you one thing. If they don't change their vote after that talk, then we won't be able to get to them. Again, it's about getting things done, not just the Save America Act. We could probably get 15, 20 things done before the election if we'd bust the filibuster. That's what it was all about.
So wait, what do you...
So let me just say this, Lance, real quick, and you can talk. So they do have the votes to nuke the filibuster for this and then put it to vote and get it passed after, all their talking BS shit from both sides. But guess what? Instead of trying to get something done, and bear in mind, they still haven't passed the Clarity Act. We're still waiting for that for crypto. But instead of doing all that, passing the Save That Clarity Act, the goddamn Senate just voted to give themselves a 19-day vacation.
Now, if that's not a middle finger to America, I don't know what is. So all you guys should go into John Thune's feed today and say that Lance from the Big Mig wants to power slap your bitch ass. Let him know that I want to power slap his bitch ass on national TV for his shitty performance within Congress. Because he sucks. He's a pussy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't care about you, doesn't care about your children, doesn't care about your grandchildren, and sure doesn't care about honesty and integrity in elections. This guy only cares about one thing. Himself. And selfish bastard, low-life scumbags like Thune. We don't need them, guys. We really don't. In fact, I'm not sure we need Congress at this point. They aren't doing what they're supposed to be. They aren't protecting you guys. There's no safety and security. Personally, I say F them. And the judiciary, they can suck a big fat one. All right. Let's get to it. Supreme Court showdown. Tell me about this, George. Big showdown.
We got big showdown. You all right, bro? Have some water.
I just choked a little bit on it. Well,
Supreme Court showdown is today. And hopefully we actually do have big ones dropping while we're live on the show right now. I've been grabbing them. So we got to look at one of the final opinion days before recess for SCOTUS. And we're waiting on some big landmark rulings. We're waiting for ending birthright citizenship for children of illegal immigrants. Protecting women's sports from biological males. I mean, come on. These are gimmies. Mail-in ballot deadlines. Look at California right now. They're still counting. Then checks on executive powder. So remember that President Trump showed up in the courtroom himself pushing back on the insanity of anchor babies. So, SCOTUS has a big chance to deliver massive, massive wins for the American people. Common sense, man. Common sense. So guess what happened today? Let me put one of the rulings up. In a 63 vote, the Supreme Court rules that the courts cannot review the government's decisions to end temporary protective status for Syria and Haiti, and says the challenger's race discrimination claim is unlikely to succeed. What does that say? All these people from Syria, all these refugees, and all these Haitians, we could send all their asses back. Send them back, specifically with all the, with their crazily Islamic, I don't know how to say this, Lance. Their way of life. Was they're trying to instill it on us.
Yeah, screw Sharia law.
Yeah.
Screw Muhammad, really.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying. He was a pedophile. Married her at 9 years old. I don't have any use for him.
There is no stories. There is no accounts of their so-called Muhammad doing any miracles. There's nothing. However, look how many gospels and stories you had.
He married a 9-year-old.
Lance, let me finish, bro. You just ruined the moment. But you could have waited. Look how many writings and gospels and stories there are of Jesus Christ performing miracles. Nothing for Muhammad. A lot for Jesus Christ. I'm going with Jesus Christ. He's my Lord and Savior. Muhammad, what'd you say, Lance? He was a pedo? The fucking bastard.
I mean, look, his only claim to fame is not only calling about the cleansing of the infidels, right? Which is us.
Infidels.
He married a 9-year-old. Does anybody think there's any? First of all, to marry a 9-year-old, intellectually, you have to question the intellectual state of a man that's thinking about marrying a 9-year-old. Number one, because there's any intellectual connection. There's not any emotional connection. It's a 9-year-old. Well, the only connection is a sexual abuse connection, right? A child pedophilia connection. That's the truth. And at the end of the day, that's what these people are like. They just don't. I don't believe culturally that Islamic belief systems, that Muslims can integrate in a way that is peaceful, that is safe for the United States. I'm happy to have any Muslim cleric or anybody come on the show, and you can argue with me, and then I'll really get legitimate. I've read the Book of Muhammad from cover to cover. I've read lots of things about Sharia law. I don't like it. I don't like disrespectful people that are disrespectful to women. I don't think women are second-class citizens. I look at women as equals. You guys know that on this show. I treat my wife as an equal. I treat many people as an equal. Whenever I've dated, I treat
me like an equal, bro. What's up with that?
Well, I do treat you like an equal. The truth of the matter is, I think that the fact that they're so disrespectful towards women, they want to limit their education. They want to stone them. There's so many archaic Neanderthal kind of premise deals in their belief system. I've seen it up close. Let me say this to you. I saw a lot of very evil things when I was working as a contractor. A lot of times it was from the end of the scope. And I'm going to tell you this. I did some things I wasn't proud of. I don't know that I'm proud of them now. But there were many times I didn't allow that to happen. When they were mistreating animals, mistreating children, mistreating women. Occasionally, the hand of God reached out and touched them. And I'm going to say this to you. I think when you look at things like this, and I'm not proud of everything I did. Let me be clear. I struggle with it sometimes, although I'm probably different than a lot of people. After a lot of things happened over the years, I could go eat a sandwich and not even think about it. I became pretty cold and callous to what I was doing. It became second nature. What I'm going to tell you about this is, I don't accept that. I don't accept that bullying, shitty ideology. I don't accept them. And when you see evil up close so many times, you get to a point where you're unwilling to allow it to continue. And with or without orders, or with or without being part of an operation, there were individuals that are no longer with us because what I saw them doing wasn't acceptable, at least in my book. So I'm going to tell you this. Enough's enough. All this crap, these asylum seekers, all this stuff, let's get them all the hell out of here. Tom Homan, I hope he goes into overdrive. I love Tom Homan. I think he's one of the real ones. All right, let's talk about the Second Amendment, huh?
Well, no. You're jumping the guns. Just slow your roll there, kid. So that was the first rule. Now the second one. This is a majority opinion. This was authored by Justice Samuel Alito. He goes, the court held that an alien standing in Mexico does not arrive in the United States by attempting and failing to enter the country. And asylum seekers who are still physically standing in Mexico on the Mexican side of the U.S.-Mexico border have not yet arrived in the United States under federal law. As a result, they do not have an automatic legal right to apply for asylum at that point. U.S. border officials can turn them away without processing their asylum claims. Send them back.
Absolutely. Ridiculous that they even had to argue that or rule on that, to waste the time of the Supreme Court to somehow argue that somebody standing in Mexico because he didn't clear still has a right. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I hate waiting. The amount of time that's wasted on the Supreme Court. There's a lot of cases that need to get heard and don't get heard. And my argument is simple. Why do we have to go through this process? Doesn't this seem like common sense to you guys that somebody standing in Mexico that hasn't entered the country shouldn't have any U.S. legal rights?
Common sense is not so common.
Don't you think it's crazy we even have to argue that, George?
It is, because common sense is not so common. All right, you could do the next one. I know you're the Second Amendment guy.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Hawaii, they try to turn the Second Amendment into a second-class right. Constitution is there's a thing with the Constitution for anybody that's never studied this. You should go, for the audience, I'm going to tell you. Today, I want everybody in the audience to go type into Google or any other search engine or any other AI you want to use the Supremacy Clause. You guys all need to understand what the Supremacy Clause is, because the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. That means it sits above every federal and state law ever made. It's the highest law of the land. And it's very clear, the Second Amendment, and this is why I think the ATF is so full of shit. So many of the things they've done, I don't care whether it's the machine gun laws in 1986, suppressor laws, bump stocks, you name it, all that crap. Screw the ATF. They can suck a big fat one. The truth of the matter is the Supreme Court reminded the state shall not be infringed. It's a command. It's not a suggestion. They're not suggesting, well, when you don't want to, you shouldn't infringe it when you can or maybe. Shall not be infringed. The people that wrote the Constitution, wrote our Bill of Rights, the founders and framers, most of them, I'll go on a limit, much smarter than I could ever hope to be. Brilliant. If you look at their writings, these guys were brilliant. And they'd already been through all this crap. They'd already had monarchs crush them under the thumbs, take their land. I mean, this all came from Magna Carta. You can go all the way back and look at Magna Carta. And even then, the monarchs still did a lot of shit. They were thieving, lying scum. I don't know why England puts up with it. I would drag those monarchs out of that freaking castle. They would be done. I would never allow monarchs to continue to go. But this is the point. Shall not be infringed. That should be enough to just disband and cut off the ATF. Screw those bastards. The truth of the matter is, Supremacy Clause. Today, that's your homework. Go out, look up the Supremacy Clause, and learn what it really means for you. Because the Constitution is really what protects you. It stops you from overreaching government. They don't want you to have weapons. Can you imagine if we didn't have guns, what this government would do to us? I can't even imagine what would happen here, especially if somebody like Harris, people like Biden, the Bushes. You look at these presidencies, and trust me, if they thought they could have gotten away with it, they would have crushed us all like insects. The eugenics of COVID are nothing compared to what they would be doing to us. Never give up your guns. Never give up your arms. I don't care who you are. Even what they do to felons. I think it's ridiculous that they put these laws in place. I don't think anybody should, once you go through your probation, you should get all your rights back, your voting rights, your gun rights, unless you've got some long history of violence. The truth of the matter is they take the rights because they know those people know their legal system better than others. That's why they go after felons the way they do. And it's awful. So Hawaii, yeah, you'd get the bag of dicks if I had it, if Bella the cat hadn't chewed it up. You can get a bag of dicks, Hawaii. All right, George.
Thanks. Because I don't like homework. And because you give homework, I told the people in the chat, I'm going to help them out. I put it in the chat, but I'm going to read it for our audience who may not be in the chat. But you should be in the chat. The Supremacy Clause, Article, 4, Clause 2 of the U.S. Constitution, establishes that the U.S. Constitution, federal laws, and federal treaties are the supreme law of the land. It dictates that legitimate federal law overrides any conflicting state laws or state constitutions. Boom.
And of course, at the top of that is the Constitution. It is a higher status than even federal law. They built it so that the Constitution would control everything below it. The problem we have is the DOJ and the judiciary have created unconstitutional and non-constitutional laws and rulings to support those cases. They do it over and over again, violating their oath of office, all of them, whether they even have oaths of office. We've heard a lot of stories that a lot of these government officials won't sign their oath of office. They don't do it because they're worried about what the consequences would be. I'd like a full audit. I'd like to find out who has an oath of office in place and who doesn't. I hear there's a lot of judges that have never signed their oath of office, and they don't have it on file. All right.
Should we take
President
a break?
Trump what'd you say?
Should we take a break? What do you want to do?
Yeah, why not? Let's take a break. We'll take a quick break here on the Big Mig Show. We'll be right back. We're dropping truth bombs. We're dropping the hammer. We're dropping a little bit of homework. But hey, guys, you can't sit on the sidelines. You got to win. You got to make it happen. Don't let them walk down the streets. Don't let them get services. And tell them, I'm not listening to you anymore. You're full of shit. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right, don't go nowhere. It's Thirsty Thursdays, all right? Be right back.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. Don't leave your future to chance. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at prepperbar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org.
All right, welcome back to the Big Mig Show. Here with your host, Lance Migliaccio. Yours truly, George Ballantine. From the darkness, a warrior is born. That's right. And I've been in a lot of darkness, bro. Let me tell you. My armor is battle tested, and it's tough. Anyway, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, follow, like, share, subscribe if you can. And if you're out there watching, if you join the chat right now, join the chat. I will give you a shout out if I see a new person in the chat that I have not seen. Good news, Jim. What's up, bro? I haven't seen you in a little bit. Anyways, any support you can do, we truly appreciate it. So Lance and I, we have the perfect, I'm going to give you guys something. We got the perfect solution for the people that can't watch their crypto 24/7. I'm talking about BlockTrustIRA.com. They're bringing access to cryptocurrency wealth to everyday people. Their exclusive Animus AI trading platform works 24/7, analyzing market data and executing advanced crypto strategies that go far beyond buy and hold. This sophisticated technology, once reserved only for Wall Street insiders, but now it's available to you. And this system was named #1 crypto technology platform by Bitcoin Magazine out of more than 1,500 global competitors. Our clients are already seeing over 250% returns on our investments, all military-grade security and up to $200 million insurance. Your wealth is fully protected. So don't wait. Visit BigMigCrypto.com today and see how you can join this financial revolution. Once again, visit BigMigCrypto.com today and you get up to $2,500 free crypto. QR code's on the screen. Link is in the chat. Link's in the more section on the video. Listen, you can always email Lance or myself at info@thebigmig.com if you have any questions or need help or assistance. Anything. You got tips, whatever you got. We're here for you. All right, Mr. M. What do we got going on? So, Trump, he was at the White House yesterday with NATO secretary. And it's funny because Lance brought up the story. He's talking about the oil companies.
Yesterday, we just talked about this.
And we're talking about it. So, it seems like I thought it was more when that story yesterday was geared toward the gas stations. But if it's oil companies are doing it, yeah, then it's understandable. And those bastards don't all get together and do this. So he ordered a major DOJ investigation into oil companies for price gouging Americans at the pump. Now, I think a barrel of oil right now is $69, $70. I don't know what gas prices. I haven't seen it in the last day or two, but they should be dropping.
I'll point this out to the audience, George. Whenever there's a global event, the oil companies immediately raise the prices. Like in seconds, they hear something happen. Oh, the oil prices are up, right? They do it at the pumps. They do it out on the national markets immediately. Like instantly, they can transition. But whenever it goes the opposite way and it's going down, it takes weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for the prices to match the pump, to match the oil. And that's exactly what Trump is investigating. And these oil companies, and I'm going to name it, he's investigating ExxonMobil, Chevron, Shell, BP, and many, many more. And let me tell you something. They are price fixing. They are colluding. They are violating different laws on the books. I'd like to see a major rebate refund across the United States where we take away all their profits for the next 24 months. They should suck it for what they're doing. Hopefully, Trump's going to drop the hammer and we're not going to have all these oil lobbyists throwing a hissy fit for all the cheating and skullduggery. Because again, when there's an event, you watch how quick prices go up the next day. Iran up, boom, through the pumps are up. But when the event's over or the prices go down, oh, they're like la-di-da. We don't need to lower these prices for a while. We'll just kind of let it rip for a while. And of course, their profit goes through the roof. It's disgusting. And they need to be stopped dead in their tracks. And I'm happy that Donald Trump's bringing this up. I think it's even worse than he's letting on. It's been going on for decades. Let's play the clip.
Let's.
That you said gas prices were not coming down quick enough.
That's right.
And you are concerned that there is price gouging going on, taking advantage of the crisis. Sir, can you elaborate on that?
So it's ExxonMobil, it's Chevron, it's Shell, it's BP, it's a lot of them. The gasoline or the oil prices have come down so much, and we are not seeing anything at the pump by comparison to what it should be. We should be, in my opinion, at $2.25 right now at the pump. And we're higher than that. And we are doing a big investigation on it. Yeah, they're not reducing the prices commensurate with what's happening. Look, we are sending out, think of it, 19 million barrels came out yesterday. That is a flood. That's like a gusher. That's an oil gusher. And they should be much lower, the gasoline prices, which really is what people see more than anything else, but for their car. But the gasoline prices should be much lower at the pump. And the oil companies are possibly gouging. I hope they're not, otherwise they're going to be in big trouble. They're going to be in big trouble. We're not going to play games.
Mr. President, have you spoken to them, sir? Have you spoken
I
to
have.
the oil executive today?
I told them, don't gouge our people.
I mean, gas should be like $1.99, really. Okay.
There's no doubt they're scamming. And I say this, Donald Trump, when you catch them, make part of the settlement that each one of the CEOs has to go to power slap. And George and I get to give them a power slap right across the face on national TV for screwing over the American public. Power slap for government, for oil executives. That's what I'm calling for. On top of billions of dollars in fines. And how about a bunch of rebates for you guys? How about you just get free gas for a month? How would you like that as one of the things they have to do? They have to suck it up and give you guys all free gas for screwing you for decades. That'd be a nice little thing. And Don, while you're at it, how about those lower credit card interest rates you promised us, brother? You said you were going to get a max of 10% across the board for people. That was going to happen in February. Well, last time I checked the calendar, looks like it's a lot later.
You can't force that. That's a problem. He can suggest it to the companies, which he did, but they ain't going through with the credit card companies.
Yeah, but he could cause a lot of havoc for them. He could have a lot of different things going on.
I would think maybe the Fed chair could probably do something.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the NATO secretary. He unveiled what he calls the Trump trillion. He's crediting President Trump with helping push European allies to boost defense spending. Well, yeah, the allies have been sitting around. We've been too often helping them. Most of them are worthless partners. Germany, they can suck it. England's not that great either, in my opinion. There's many other countries, and now we got to worry about Italy because, of course, there's a fallout with, the prime minister there. Who gives a shit? Of course, this is the first time they've had to ante up. So they've added roughly $1.2 trillion in defense spending. A lot of that's come into U.S. defense companies. Well, great. I don't know how that translates everything great for us. Maybe the people that are invested in defense stocks. I think it's good. I don't know if it helps you guys at your dining room tables or at the gas pumps or in your lives. Good for defense companies. I don't know if it really transitions to good for you, but let's go ahead and play the clip.
Here's a question, though, before we play the clip. Yeah. Why doesn't the Secretary General go after these companies and get them to pony up more for the defense? Why does it have to be Trump? Shouldn't have to be.
Yeah.
We should just get out of NATO. Pull out.
He seems to be one of the only people with any kind of common sense, at least on some topics.
Do we need NATO? Do we need to be in NATO?
I'm not a NATO fan. I'm not a UN. To be honest with you, if I was president, I'd give the UN 30 days to move out of the country. Screw the UN. Screw the WHO.
Well, no. You know what?
Oh, I get the UN.
Hold on. Let's stop. Let me talk. You want to pull the United States out of the UN? I get that, but they can stay in New York. We're just going to charge them a lot of rent.
I'd rather throw their asses out, disrespectfully give them 30 days and kick them out on the public stage, because of course we know that the UN funded a big portion of the U.S. border invasion. There was all kinds of UN operational programs that funneled money into this border invasion. To me, that makes them an enemy of the United States and an enemy of the American people. F the UN, kick them out. I think it's done. In NATO, good luck. Go ahead and defend yourself. See how well that goes for you. I just think there's too many of these programs we're dumping millions of dollars in. And forget millions, billions. And the point of the matter is they still haven't paid back Social Security. Your parents would be getting a much bigger payment if the 2.7 or 2.9 trillion that they borrowed illegally was paid back. I haven't heard anything about that. And what about our Fort Knox audit? What about USAID? I haven't seen any arrests for all the theft in USAID. What about the 14 magic money computers? I want to see accountability. I want to see massive scale of arrests. And some of the biggest mouths in Congress, I want to see them yanked out. I just want to watch them disappear and never get back out of jail. All right, Obama judge. No surprise.
You want to play the clip?
With Obama.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, we probably should play the clip. I'm sorry, George.
How much coffee did you have this morning, Mo?
A lot.
Now I want to take you, if you stay here, I go over to these boards here, because I want to show you what this president was able to achieve. And I start with this chart. This chart is about the Trump trillion. The Trump trillion shows you the increase Europeans and Canadians are paying into defense since you took office in 2017. Right. Trump 45 plus Trump 47. A total of extra spent by the Europeans and the Canadians of 1.2 trillion. When you look at the effect of Trump 47, so the isolated effect of the extra defense spending in 2025 and in 2026, you see almost $140 billion extra spent nominal on defense by the Europeans and the Canadians. And also this year you will again see an increase by about 120 billion, which brings a total in 2 years of over $250 billion. I can assure you, this is because of Russia, because of the threat, but I'm also absolutely convinced that you being President of the United States, being consistently pushing for something which since Eisenhower has not been achieved, which is the Europeans equalizing their defense spending with the United States, this is your evidence. Then, when it comes to jobs, look here. In total, 195,000 jobs being supported by investments. Investments from European companies into the United States, 83,000 jobs supported by that. 112,000 jobs created by the fact that Europeans are massively, about half of all their defense spending when it comes to defense industrial output is spent in the United States. 112,000 jobs. Last year they spent $54 billion on US defense industrial output. There is now an order catalog, an order backlog of $300 billion. So $300 billion of defense spending from Europeans, buying this in the US over the next couple of years, which is already on the order book. Last year, 54 billion, a total now order book of 300 billion, totally almost 200,000. These are real jobs, real people. Like you had yesterday when you spoke in Pennsylvania, the people behind you.
What were you saying about that guy? It reminds you of what show?
You know, for anybody that's seen the Howard Hughes document, you know, the movie they made about Howard Hughes, it was a very good movie, of course. Howard Hughes actually hired this scientist expert, supposedly, when he was told that he was showing too much skin in his films. That they show a scene in there where the guy's measuring the boobs of these scenes in different movies, and that the boobs showed in Hughes's movies weren't any more than the boobs showed in the other movies because he was being censored. And the guy just reminds me, as you can see, the Trump trillions, it's increasing with 17 and 47. You know, kind of reminded me of
All right, speaking of rogue judges.
Oh, well, anything that starts with Obama starts with bag of dicks for sure. If you hear that name, you know, you just got to flush it. Obama judge permanently blocks Trump's proof of citizenship required to vote. Here's an activist scumbag. Take a hard look at her face. This federal judge on Wednesday permanently banned Trump from implementing his executive order that required proof of citizenship when registered to vote. U.S. District Judge Denise Casper out of Boston wants a phone call from each and every one of you today. Tell her that she's an activist scumbag that's not applying the laws of the United States legally because she violated the Constitution. She's saying the Constitution does not grant the president any specific powers over elections, but in fact, the Constitution says you have to be a citizen to vote. So she wants to selectively take one thing out of the Constitution and ignore everything else. Honestly, if it was legal, I've never hit a woman, but I would have somebody that was a woman slap the taste out of her mouth. This DOJ, of course, is going to immediately appeal. But when federal judges override the Constitution, I think it should be an instant firing. I think they should be suspended immediately and say you violated the Constitution, you violated your judicial canons, you violated your judicial oath, and you are now no longer wanted in the judiciary. But of course, absolute immunity and lifetime appointment is a problem. That lifetime appointment thing is total garbage. And that's what people like this judge. But you could go into her feed, or you could go find her clerk of the court and you could leave her a message. Why let her just feel like what she did was okay? She's a piece of shit, and you should tell her that she is. So this judge agreed the Constitution gives states and Congress the authority to regulate elections and that Trump's requirements violated the separation of powers. It doesn't violate the separation of powers when states or the federal government violate the Constitution. These people are supposed to be citizens. Trying to enable fraud makes you a co-conspirator. It's a crime to vote in a U.S. federal election if you're not a citizen of the United States. This judge, going along with it, should have federal charges charged against her because she is trying to become complicit in a federal crime. And clearly, if anybody has the mens rea of a crime, it would be a judge. Do they understand the mental state of a crime? Sure they do. So free, fair, and honest elections, this is her quote, unmarred by fraud, errors, or suspicion are fundamental to maintaining our constitutional republic. Well, that at least is true. The right of American citizens to have their votes properly counted and tabulated without illegal dilution is vital to determine the rightful winner of the election. That's what the executive order said. Now, that's the point. Under the Constitution, state governments must safeguard American elections in compliance with federal laws. Of course, the Supremacy Clause, to protect Americans' voting rights and guard against dilution by illegal voting, discrimination, fraud, and other forms of malfeasance and error. This judge is participating in malfeasance, nonfeasance, and misfeasance by a government official. The United States does not adequately enforce federal election requirements that, for example, prohibit states from counting ballots received after Election Day or prohibit, and listen closely, non-citizens from registering to vote. There are many federal laws, including 18 U.S.C. 1015, 18 U.S.C. 611, which prohibit foreign nationals from registering to vote. This judge just violated the laws of the United States. If that's not a reason for sanctions and firing and criminal charges, I don't know what is. At the end of the day, I hope you guys will go find her. Maybe she's on social media. If not, take a minute. You can call the Boston clerk of the courts up for her district court. Leave a message. Maybe you need to tell her she's a piece of shit. She's smiling in that photo. We might need to have one of the females step up and take her to power slap.
Uh-oh.
Power slap for this judge. All right. Scientists.
Mutant
rats. Now, listen, when I was a kid, George, I don't know the stories. We always heard, and I saw some giant rats. I got to be honest, cat-sized rats coming out of the sewers, big, angry rats, right? At the end of the day, it looks like poison-resistant mutant rats are spreading across America's biggest cities. It looks like the rats and mice have built up a defense in major American cities, are developing genetic mutations that make them much harder to kill with poison. I think they're snacking on it like it's a Tostito. I don't know. Nearly 300 rodents from New York and New Jersey. George, they took the rats out of New York and New Jersey. Of course they did. Pennsylvania and Washington, D.C. My question is, were they referring to members of Congress when they took rats and rodents out of Washington, D.C., George? Were they actually rats or were they actually members of Congress?
I was thinking the same thing.
It is the same thing. They found widespread signs of resistance to widely used exterminator chemicals. Around 5 out of every 6 rodents tested carried at least one mutation linked to reduced sensitivity to poison. More than 2/3 had additional genetic changes previously tied to resistance among common rodenticides. Man, it sounds like Congress. I'm not sure. Are they talking about rats or are they talking about Congress? I don't know. I'm confused. All right. Well, this is kind of ugly. I guess brown rats showed fewer resistance mutations than house mice, possibly because they are more cautious around unfamiliar food and traps. Of course, they're pretty smart rats. If you've ever had a rat as a pet, you know they're actually very bright. In Manhattan, 15% of residents have also reported rat problems, with 1 in 5 in Washington, D.C. And I think the numbers are higher in Washington, D.C., with the executive branch being there and Congress. I think that's probably higher than 1 in 5 because it seems like they've also are immune to poison and the laws of the United States. Let's play the clip, man.
Mice have genetically changed, mutated. The poison isn't killing them anymore.
They show a much higher mutation frequency than we thought before.
Rutgers University studied mice from New York City, D.C., New Jersey, and Philadelphia. How many have mutated in the cities? Most of them.
We found that about 70% of the mice populations contain mutations.
There have been some mice, some rats that were resistant to the poison. They lived to see another day. Then they were breeding, and then their babies also were the same poison-resistant mice. Is that right?
Yeah. So anytime we use, any product on any of the pests, we're putting a selection pressure on them.
Ian Williams studies all of this at Orkin and says something else might be going on too. We know mice have been mutating fast for about 5 years, which might not be random. Think COVID. We changed the way we were eating, ordering more takeout, more food garbage moved outside of homes than restaurants. Mice scattered and were exposed to more poisons.
And the bag of garbage that was put out every night for food for all the alley rats, it's not there anymore. So where did they go? And so some of this may be a result of that.
And are rats, like mice, also mutating?
They are smart, but we definitely have to become much more smarter than them.
What about good old-fashioned mouse traps or birth control?
Mouse traps work extremely well. It really comes down to placement.
And birth control?
Even if a rodent can't procreate, it can still spread disease.
Rutgers continues to study this, and it looks like we will be forced to do some changing too. In Soho, Michelle Charlesworth, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Oh, yeah.
Rat infestation. What are you going to do? Listen, but of course they mutated, but, as time goes on and we evolve, even humans have evolved and changed and adapted their bodies, our immune systems and stuff. So will animals. But, I'm going to move on because I don't know if people notice, but yesterday a bunch of countries got hit with earthquakes. And the most severe one was Venezuela. But I'm just going to go down. Japan got hit 6.9. New Guinea 5.4. Philippines was 4.9. Somalia 5.1. Even the U.S. and California, we had an earthquake yesterday, 5.6, and then Chile. But Venezuela, man, prayers for the people of Venezuela. It looks like a war zone. Like they got nuked. They had 2 back-to-back earthquakes. One was a 7.1, the other one was 7.5. And right now, I think it's reported like 164 deaths, over 1,000 injuries. But you know those numbers are going up. It's very sad. The U.S. is sending people over to help. A bunch of other countries are. So everybody's kind of pulling together. It's unfortunate that it takes a tragic event for people to pull together, but
terrible.
It is. I'm just going to play this clip.
Like a freaking bomb went off. I mean, this is like a nuke.
I'm just showing you guys one clip, but pray for Venezuela and the people there.
Mira los delfines, mira, 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 mira. Y mira cómo se cayeron todas las paredes del frente. Y esto de aquí también, ¿eh? Marico, esto es muy impresionante, mira esto. Ay, Dios mío, la gente. La familia. Parece una guerra.
Esto, dirección, edificio oficial.
Pretty fucking bad, man. Definitely my heart and prayers go out to them. I got family there. I got to check. My cousin, I got a few cousins here. I got to call them and see.
And I mean, they pledged $200 million in aid. I see $200 million just looking through there. Goes, I don't even know how that aid's going to be enough. We're talking about billions you need for something that bad. Horrible. I feel for those people. You lose all your belongings. You lose everything in one just fell swoop.
Well, that was the acting president, Delcy Rodriguez, that set $200 million relief fund.
Yeah.
But you have, U.S., El Salvador, France, they're all sending, people over and aid over because, those people need help. I mean, can't leave people like that stranded away. It's just not, it's not the right thing to do. To leave them stranded. All right, last story, people. And this pisses me off. Caitlin Clark, second year in the WNBA. Now, let me tell you something about it. She's by far the best women's player probably ever hit the women's NBA. She fills stadiums up. She is their moneymaker, and they treat her like dog shit.
Yeah.
Second year going. This happened last night at a game, and it's like, I'm going to play the video, then I have a still shot. Now, this is from Alyssa Thomas on Caitlin Clark. And you can't tell me this is not intentional. Even Caitlin Clark, the coach for the Fever, White, she's a POS. She said something yesterday, but she's never been truly behind one of her own players.
Yeah,
and
she's a piece of shit.
If I was Caitlin Clark, I would go to. She can go to Europe and make probably more money, and be much appreciated over there than being here. It's crazy. I'm telling you, she goes to any stadium, the stadium's packed. If a regular game or she's not there, they're hurting to get people in the stands.
Yeah.
And this is how the league want to treat her. I'm gonna play the clip, and I'm gonna show you this still video shot.
I mean, Caitlin to the ground, and ooh, that's a hand to the neck, and then Alyssa Thomas steps over her. See, that's the kind of stuff that can incite some future trouble.
Now I want you to look at this shot. Her hands on her throat, punching her throat. I want you to visualize something. Visualize that player laying on the court in the back is a black person and two white people on top. You bet your fucking ass that the league they'd be all crying and they'd be doing something about it. Because it's a white girl, they don't want to do nothing about it. That's a shit. Always the shit, same damn shit.
I can solve this. Make me the WNBA commissioner, and I'm going to pass the Carano call rule. Carano call rule basically says that when you do something like this, there's an immediate ruling. And then Gina Carano comes out of the stands and punches you directly in the face. You can't block it. Your hands are held behind your back. And you get hit with the full force of one blow to the face for acting like this. Because, again, what they're doing to Caitlin Clark is this is assault. Okay? They can't outplay her, so they're trying to hurt her. And I think that we need the Carano call. One direct punch to the face as hard as you can possibly throw it. You can't move, you can't flinch, and your hands are held behind your back. I would bet after the first 3 or 4 players get hit by Gina Carano right directly in the mug, I'll bet it will stop. Because at the end of the day, when you allow violence to continue, it doesn't matter. Here's the deal. When you allow things to happen and you allow it to go forward, the WNBA should tell the league that girl right there is no longer welcome in the league and fire her. But they're not doing it. The WNBA is allowing this crap to go on, probably for the likes and impressions. Who knows? They can't outplay Caitlin, so they continue to try to attack her. And a lot of it, as George said, I hate to say it, but a lot of it is the black players. But I think just like enforcers in hockey, I think your enforcer should come out when that happens and they get one free. You put in the enforcer and they go to blows. These girls need to be punched directly in the face for what they're doing. I think violence perpetuates violence. And at the end of the day, if you don't do something to throw down the gauntlet, these players are going to continue to do it. I agree with you, George. Caitlin Clark ought to tell the WNBA to suck it. They'll go right down the drain and they'll be done. She ought to go to Europe, get the big money. They would love her there and they wouldn't do this kind of crap to her. And I bet they'd protect her also. Yep. It's disgusting. WNBA, unbelievable. Every player that's assaulted Caitlin Clark should be thrown out of the league today. You pussies, do something about it. Or we have to go with enforcers. The Carano call. That's what I'm calling for. All right. Big Mig Show's out of time. You know how we do it. Again, you can catch us here every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. Follow us on all major social media. X, you can follow G. Ballantine, Lance Minach on The Big Mig Show. And listen, go over to Spotify, go over to iHeart, wherever you have your podcast chosen platforms. Find The Big Mig Show. Follow us, leave a comment, share our content. Help us grow there. And don't forget, we're on YouTube and Locals. So if you're on Locals, get over there and give us a follow, even though I know you watch us here. Go over to YouTube, give us a follow. Share it with your friends and family. We're trying to grow, get the voice out there, because you know what? This is a no-nonsense, common sense show, and we need your help to grow. All right, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. And don't forget to hit that follow button on the way out the door. George B., slicked back and ready to go.
Thirsty Thursdays. You all have a blessed day. Stay safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. Don't leave your future to chance. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at prepperbar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on earth. These canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit warriordogfoundation.org